Yeah, I'm so super excited to talk to tonight to these beautiful, beautiful ladies. We've been talking a lot about relationships and codependency in relationships. How do you get healthy relationships? And so we're going to continue in that vein, but every Monday night we're going to kind of go a little bit further, go a little bit deeper, so to speak, and bring in different aspects of it because I just want to tell you that when you're talking about relationships, it's just not one and done. You know what I mean? It's not something that you can just say, okay, and we're done, we're done. And so we have to keep talking about it. Can you let us know again? Let us know where you're from. We're super excited that you're joining us. Let us know exactly where you're from. And if you're watching us on the replay, which I know many will, type in their hashtag replay and still let us know where you are from. So we've got Karen, we've got Carrie joining us. And so just want to say hello, everybody. And I am going to introduce these beautiful ladies. So listen, if you see me turning away, I'm looking at my Facebook page, I'm looking down at my notes, but I am still here and paying attention. I just want to give a shout out to Hardwick because he's got a podcast, and please type in the correct information just in case I get it wrong. It's called True Talk. And you guys have to check out his podcast because he's got juicy guests and I say juicy guests because I was one of the guest guys, but he's got not just juicy guests, I call it juicy, but also great information that's coming across. And I think in the times that we're living in right now, we can't get out like we want to, and so we've got just have to find different ways that we connect, right? So we've got Judy. I think Judy is joining us from New York. And ladies, go ahead and type your name in as well and let us know where all of you guys are located. They're all in Delaware, but we all are in different parts of Delaware. Although I like to joke and say, y'all know that Delaware is just a 2-hour state from top to bottom, okay?
Yes.
A whole state in 2 hours. Yay, yay, yay. So I'm going to first introduce, I'll have them introduce themselves. Just take a quick minute and just tell us your name and just what do you do? What do you do in the world today? So just take a quick minute. So Sonia, we'll start with you.
Hi everybody. So my name is Sonia McCrae. I am a writer and editor, and I'm an educator. So I work at the illustrious Delaware State University. So I actually teach English in a course called Learning Strategies there, and I'm their writing studio coordinator.
All right. Awesome. Sonia, who wants to go next?
Hi, I'm Angela, but I go by Angie in real life, and I am currently a YouTube influencer. I am a content creator on YouTube right now. That is my current field. I'm excited about what's happening, and I'm excited to go over this book tonight.
Great. Who's next?
I'll go next. I'm Valerie Thompson. I live in Wilmington, Delaware. I work for myself. I have a business called Help Desk LLC, where I provide virtual office assistance and graphic design to clients.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to need both of y'all.
Good networking, right?
Yes, and my name is LaTanya. I am a stay-at-home mom right now, working on my license to become a home childcare. And I am just loving it. Just love being at home. I was in the industry of poultry for 21 years, but I got out of that. So now I'm loving it, and I'm starting up my business as a home childcare provider.
So she is an early childhood professional.
Yes.
What we speak, the words that we speak are so important, right? Mm-hmm. And so she's an early childhood professional that is now stepping out and launching out and creating and beginning and starting her own business. So yay, kudos for that. So that's good because not everybody is there yet. And so LaTanya has started. And so I'm super proud of her. So guys, I wanted to invite these ladies on, and I'll be inviting different people on throughout the next few months as we're talking about relationship and healing tonight. And of course, as many of you know, and if you don't know, I wrote a book called Why. Yeah, I'm going to show it to you right here. Can you see it? Here we go. Why stepping into purpose. And so uh, these ladies all are, some do executive coaching with me, personal development coaching, business coaching, but, or they're doing other things with me. And they've also read the book. And I wanted them to come on and just basically talk a little bit about the book in terms of, what did you capture and what did you get out of it? And then at the end, we're going to basically, I'm going to talk a little bit about healing in relationships and how it really kind of begins within us. So I don't know who wants to start, but I guess I'll start with I start with Angie. So Angie, tell us a little bit. I like to hear because even today, I'll give you an example. I was thinking about my book, and I was thinking about some of the things I've gone through, and today is Monday, and I really tried to make Monday a slow day. I like to look at my entire schedule. I begin looking at it on Sunday night, right? And then I really begin to look at it on Mondays because I like to see what's ahead, not just for the day, but the entire week. And I just really like to get my focus and everything in order. And sometimes, though, as you're trying to do that, it really, there's some things that would upset your day. You know what I mean? And so today I began to think about the chapter in my book where I kind of talked about searching versus discovery, and I just began to think about that. And I started thinking, gosh, what am I discovering even more about me? Because I just feel that sometimes I go back into searching, and then it's like, no, but I already discovered this about myself. But this is it, guys. Sometimes with life and circumstances, things happen. And if you remember, I think it was last week or week before last, we talked about how we have defining moments, right? And those defining moments can really change things in our lives and really help us to make a decision anyway to get unstuck. When you have a defining moment in your life, that defining moment causes you to get unstuck or to make a decision. You're either going to move forward, you're going to stay stagnant, or you're going to move backwards. Defining moments. And then we talked about how we can have 10 moments. Remember, we talked about your relationship from 1 to 10, and that we would always like to be at a 10, but the bottom line is we always aren't at a 10 in our relationship with others or our relationship with ourselves. And so as I began to look today, and I was really thinking about the Facebook Live tonight, thinking about the book, and just thinking about, life. I gotten a text from someone, and the text wasn't a negative text, but it could have gone into a very negative place if I would have allowed it to do that. You understand what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So and so I began again to think about, that searching first versus discovering, knowing that, okay, I have moments of 10. You have moments of still searching, and then I have moments of 10 where I've discovered who I am and what I want to be, and what I stand for and what I believe in and what are my non-negotiables. Am I making sense? I hope so.
Mm-hmm.
And so, so Angie, what I'd like for you just to talk about, as you've just gotten the book and you just began to read it, tell me what you've taken from it so far.
Wow. Just first of all, my favorite color is purple. So this is eye-catching to me anyway. And God has been dealing with me, or I have been dealing with myself more so, of stepping into my purpose, searching and discovering who I am. And there were a couple things that kind of stood out to me in the few chapters that I read, just to touch base on the defining moment as far as discovering and searching yourself. And I often tell this story on my channel. I'm sitting here as Angie in real life because my mom took her wings almost 2 years ago. And my mom was my everything. I mean, she was my everything. And my mom did everything that she could do. I mean, everything that she could do on this earth. She worked for the state for 15 years. She had the goals of retiring. When she left us, her house was paid for, her car was paid for. She left her insurance policy, life insurance policy. She traveled. She basically laid the foundation for us
Yeah.
of the type of life that we should live. And she never let anything stop her. It didn't matter what the obstacle was. And me, myself, as outspoken as I can be, no one really knew deep down inside that I battled with anxiety. I battle with fear as much as this mouth can talk and influence and things. No one knew on the inside that I battled with those things of being all cute on the outside, but on the inside, I was struggling.
That's
Being
because
a wife,
sometimes we show up like that, right? We show up like how people expect for us to show up, right?
yes,
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
not letting people see what's really going on the inside. So,
Yeah.
um, when my mom left, I often say when she gained her wings, I gained mine. So I was like, oh
Of
my
course.
God,
Of
I
course.
cannot let life pass me by. Mom was only 57. It doesn't matter if I think no one wants to hear me. I have to start my life. I have to get going. I have to live basically because my mom was my everything. So I always wanted to start a YouTube channel. I always wanted to talk to people and help women. And when when I had did leadership things outside with women and young ladies, my mom was always there. She was my number one supporter. So I always had her there for me. So I'm like, oh my God, she's 57. I'm 40 years old. I'm 41. I cannot let my life pass me by. So one day I just got up, bought equipment, wrote down what I wanted to do, and here I am now. I'm a paid YouTuber, a paid content creator, because I made the decision that I was going to discover who I was.
Yeah.
All
Who
the
you are. Who
searching
you
with
are.
all those years. I
Yeah.
searched all over. And even being a wife, when you talked about you felt like all your friends were living their life without you, and
Yeah.
you was home being a mother. I was that too. I never had children of my own, but I raised my husband's son. And I was like, I was his wife, I'm his mother. When am I gonna have my turn?
Hold on
When
a
am I
second,
gonna
Angie. Does anybody else feel like that, guys? Don't forget, this is a dialogue, not a monologue. So don't just leave her out there and say, yeah. If you know that you've gone through that too, write it in chat and say that's me. Or ladies, that's on StreamYard right now. Raise your hand and say, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Because I know for me, I know exactly when you just kind of lose yourself in everybody
Yes.
else, and you're on that path of searching for who you are. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I'm still discovering who I am. I haven't arrived, but
Yeah.
so many things that was on the inside of me, the hopes of having a t-shirt business, the hopes of being an entrepreneur. I have taken steps to walk down that path because, my mom leaving. I know it may sound crazy, but if she was still living, I probably would still just being her daughter. I would have probably never stepped out on, discovering who I am. So I'm blessed that I have her legacy to carry on. And then in the book where you were talking about your son, as a mother, I felt like I was really hard on him. So I'm waiting for that moment that you had in
Yeah.
Walmart.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for that moment to be able to say, son, I love you. I don't like the decisions you made, but I still love you. Come home. I'm waiting for that moment. So that touched my heart as well. So even being a mother, I'm only 42, he's 28 years old. But even in that journey of discovering who I am and searching who I am, I'm not that 21-year-old mother that I was all them years ago.
Yeah.
I'm someone else new. And I thank God for just having the experience of continuing to discover who I am and
Yeah.
understanding what my purpose was. At that time, my purpose was to be my husband's wife and his mother. And now my purpose is to walk in what God has called me in through talks and inspiration and just motivating. I call myself the hope dealer and the purpose pusher.
Yeah.
So I'm here
A hope dealer. I like that. Y'all
And
like that? A
searching.
hope dealer. Yeah, that's good. That's because you know what?
Still
When
just
we're discovering ourselves, it's not one and done, right? It's
mm-mm.
right, ladies. It's not one and done. So I have to tell y'all, these ladies look nervous, right? Because I said, hey, they're just sitting there all still. Y'all relax, shake it, relax. Come on, put a smile on your face. Come on and let's join in the conversation. So I'm not even gonna call on your name. Just jump in. So, Carol is joining us from Canada, and
Hey, Canada.
yes, totally true. Listen, as you're on the path to discover yourself, Ani says, yep, hope dealer, purpose pusher. I love that. Hope dealer, man, because we got all kinds of dealers out there, but what kind of dealer are you? Hope dealer,
Yes.
pusher. I love that. I love that. Juliet says, that's good. Come on, ladies, jump in. Just jump on in.
Well, I can kind of relate to a lot of what she was saying, especially talking about her mother. And there's a one of the interesting things is I know you, Pastor Esther, recently, your mother recently transitioned, and you didn't know this, but when that all half took place a couple of months ago, my mother passed away in July of 2008, and
Oh
I
wow.
was usually July and August are a challenge for me because she
Yeah.
passed in 2008 in July, and August was her birthday. So that same time you were kind of going through dealing with all of that, I was feeling it for you, and it brought back memories of my
Yeah.
mother and during that same window and period of time. And even my kids were like, "Wow, I've been thinking about Granny, and I've been thinking." But I can relate to what you were saying, Angie, because when my mother passed away, she was an amazing, amazing person. She didn't have much of an education. She was a housewife and a mother most of her time. But when my father left, she pulled up her bootstraps and she took care of us. She worked in the Dover Public Library for like 18 years as assisting the children's librarian. No high school education. Became one of the top children's storytellers. The kids will always come to see Helen Thompson tell stories and everything. Plus, she did all of the displays and everything in the library because she was very artistic. And I used to look at that and then I would admire her and always feel like what does God have for me? What am I supposed to do? When she passed, same thing happened. I promised myself, Mom, I'm going to make you proud from heaven. I'm going to find out what it is that God has for me, what I need to do, dealing with all the emotional problems and everything that I had. Now I'm on the other side of a lot of things. So reading this book that Coach Esther put out, and even participating in her. She has an awesome, awesome free mini virtual coaching called Created for More. And as you step through the modules, you have the opportunity to examine yourself from the perspective of how your friends and family see you, how you see them. Get to look at your finances and how you perceive your finances and how they'll work for you. Right now, I'm working on module 3, which is basically creating that path transformation. And I have started to employ a lot of the tools from that teaching, from my coaching. It's just been so exciting. I've been having so many what you would call epiphanous moments and finding out truly who I am just by
Yeah.
asking the questions. Esther asks you the questions and puts it out there for you to be able to really do self-examination, do some self-examination and kind of
It
think,
really is.
yeah, kind
Yeah,
of think of
because
things
I
you never
think
thought about.
Yeah, I think what happens many times too is that as we're going through the journey in life, right? Um, Sometimes we don't realize, especially when we were younger, you know, um, how life can change and pivot for us. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
When I talk about those defining moments and really fulfilling my purpose, I just remember when I was a young mom and my purpose was to be that wife and to be that mother. And I just remember at one point just absolutely feeling as if I lost myself in that, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and then realizing, okay, no, this is the purpose for right now, and that everything that we're going through in our lives, whether it be grief from losing a loved one or some type of loss, it could be loss of a job, relationships, whatever it is, that it's
Mm-hmm.
really it's something that's really taken us towards our destiny.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? It's moving, and I think that sometimes we look at these moments as not defining moments. Do you understand what I mean? We
Mm-hmm.
those we look at those moments as if many times as if they're not important. We talk about, you talk about your mom, Val, Angie, your mom, and again, I've talked about my mother several times because simply because she allowed me just that happening and grieving her loss and still grieving, because can I tell you, there's no timeline on the grieving process, right?
Nope.
And nobody can tell you how to grieve and when to grieve and how
Agreed.
long to grieve.
Yep.
That's no one can tell you that, nor is that their role. You understand what I mean? And
Right.
and so going through all of that, really, even now more than ever, ladies, more than ever, this is after the book has written. This is after everything. Saying to myself, "Oh yeah, Esther, this is a moment to where now you even have to go out and do exactly what you were created to do, and then set my non-negotiables. Set non-negotiables in relationships. First, beginning with me, then beginning with those around me. Set non-negotiables in my job. Set non-negotiables in what are some of the things that I'm going to do or not do. Does that make sense?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Jacinda. And so, where are you from? Can you type in where you're from? Kiki. Oh, she's got from Missouri. So, setting those things that what we're talking. And so, in the book, it goes through living a life by design or living a life by default, right? And one of the things I've discovered even more and more is that you can live. I was laughing because one of the things I thought about was that today, yeah, I almost went into a default moment. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Almost went into a default moment, and I was tired. And I was like, I really don't even feel like doing this. A default moment, and then to where you have to kind of snap back and say, no, I cannot do that. I cannot live, I can't do that because I'm committed to something. And so
Mm-hmm.
here it is now, as you're going through some things in life, looking at, what is it that you're committed to? Are you committed to your healing? Are you committed to living your life by design? You may have default moments, but now you have more design moments, right? More moments to where you know that this is what you are becoming unstuck. And so, Sonia, can you talk about that just a little bit, about what did you get out of the book, and what um, did it help you to get unstuck in any area?
Absolutely. I hear and I read the word be intentional. Like you wrote
Yeah,
in how you
Yes.
have to be
Yes.
intentional in your marriage. Well, I wasn't being intentional with myself. So
Mm.
I pretty much most of my life, I'm a go with the wind person. I'm not going to make any waves. I'm just going to do what's going on. I'm going to jump in the water and ride with the waves. I'm not going to create my
Go
own
with
waves.
the flow.
come on, y'all, don't leave her alone, because many of us are like that. We're gonna just,
Yeah.
we're gonna
Go with
ride
the
with the
flow.
wind. We're gonna go with the flow. We don't want to make any waves. We just want to be at peace. We're not gonna say nothing. So if you know that's you, just put a thumbs up in chat. Heart if you're on Facebook, heart it up and say something. Raise your hand, one hand up, two hand up, because I know she's not the only one, and I know I'm not the only one.
Right.
If you're a born leader, you try to do that, but it's
Right.
not an opportunity. You can't do that. If
Right.
you are built by design to lead,
Yeah,
and you want to step in and just say, okay, I'm going to chill. I'm not going to do nothing. I'm not going to say nothing. But you can't help that, because the leader in you it's going to come out. And before you know it, you're at the top of the class, running the class.
yeah.
It's
That's
true.
right. That's right. Go ahead, Sonia.
So,
Yes.
I mean, as soon as you open the book, and of course, I got my copy right here. I started off with the electronic copy, and let me tell you, I was into page 60 before I put it down the very same night, and I had to text Esther and say, "Oh my goodness, I can't put this down." And I'm not saying that just because she's on here. Like I really couldn't put it down. So right when you get to page 3, I'm gonna read you something, and this is what pretty much struck me. It says, "Have you ever lived for someone else and fear that you would disappoint them? Have you kept quiet when you should have spoken up? Did your life begin to spiral downwards because you were not living the truth, your truth?" And that's that whole not being intentional, basically trying to be a people pleaser, not worrying about yourself. I used to see the word self-care and I would kind of look at them with disgust, like, ooh, self-care. Like, well, I don't think about myself. I'm not selfish. And I almost despised it. Yeah. And I had to learn from Pastor Esther that, listen, if my cup isn't full, and I'm stealing your words, if my cup isn't full, I can't pour into everybody else. And I was pouring out of an empty cup. I mean, I'm bone dry, tired, still trying to take the kids somewhere, do extra, go above and beyond, perfectionist, overachiever. Do you know that being an overachiever is actually a mental illness?
Oh, yeah.
Well,
yeah, I can see it being that.
Yeah,
I can see it.
It is.
I mean, when I think about this whole idea of, this is chapter 1, living by design and not by default. I think about God as our creator, and he created us by design. So why am I living, just by default? I find it funny because a few years ago, my son came home and said, my science teacher said that an asteroid hit the earth and that's why it spins. And I'm like, hold on. First of all, that don't even make any sense. Even just thinking about it, there's no way an asteroid could be so intelligent to make the world spin the way it needs to spin for us to stay on it and, not fall off and everything else. So the intentionality that God has for us, if I don't walk in that, then I'm not walking in his image and I'm not walking into my purpose, and I'm just floating. I'm just blowing in the wind, and I'm tired. I'm tired of blowing in the wind. So when I say I was searching for a mentor for a while, and it seemed like everyone I wanted, God was like, nope, that's not it. And I would think it was someone else. Nope, that's not the person. And I knew Esther from passing and kind of in different circles that we were in together, but I never really felt like I really had a conversation with her where we were like one-on-one and I could say, yeah, I know her. But God really orchestrated it so that she walked into my life, became my personal coach. And when I tell you, like, the joy that I have now, just really uncovering myself, because like you ladies, I feel like we get attached to our attachments and we forget who we are. You kind of lose yourself. So I got pregnant in college and I had my son when I was a senior, so after that, it was like, okay, my life is for my child, my children, my husband, whatever attachment came next. And at some point, I'm not just my attachment, but I'm not really looking after Sonia. I'm not really trying to make sure I'm good. And at the end of the day, you can't show up for anybody else if you're not even showing up for yourself. So I'm just so grateful. I'm so grateful for starting to find myself again. I'm not all the way there yet. It's a process, but I'm grateful.
I can definitely piggyback off of Sonia, because when I had my daughter, I used to tell people, and my son, I said, I work for my children. That's what I used to say. I work for my children. The house I built was for my children. Everything I did was for my kids. And just this last year is where I'm really learning, who am I? Who am I? By choice. Yeah. Everything we have is a choice. The decision.
It's a choice. You got to make a
chapter. That chapter 1, I was like, oh my God, am I just walking through here, not even realizing what am I designed to do by God? Am I just to work? I worked on a job for 21 years, 21 years. And I'm like, where did the time go? I see my children, they're all big. And I'm like, God, was I just walking like a mummy with the blinders on and just going, not even paying attention to me, not even paying attention to my life and how my health is and what kind of person, me personally, I am going through relationships and not knowing, am I happy or I'm worrying about making the other person happy? Not focusing on me. And she said the selfishness, like I never wanted to be the limelight. I always wanted to be in the forefront, like not in the forefront, but in the back, and nobody couldn't see me. But it was always opportunities where I was pull ahead, pull ahead, pull ahead. Even when I was fighting, sometimes when you try to go, when you're going by design, you fight because it's the way you're supposed to go. And you don't think you're supposed to go that way.
Yeah.
But you go anyway. And as you begin to go, you break out of the default. You break out of that default. We think, okay, as a mom, as a parent, we're supposed to be this way. Go, go, go. Everything's about the kids. But what about us? It's no more. It seems like we forget about ourselves.
Mhm.
I remember they said, when you have a kid, your life is over.
Right.
Are you serious? And my life is over when I have a kid, and that's how I felt for the longest time. But what do you do when the kids are gone?
What happens too is that we become Joey, Mary, Donald, Susie's mother, Harry's wife,
Your identity.
or we,
That's right, Valerie.
we
We lose
become
our
everything.
identity.
We lose our identity. And I like to say that I was Esther before I was anything else, and I
Mhm.
had to come back, to that. I had to come back to, what, I was Esther before I was anything else. And I remember as I sat down and I began to write the book, it's, once again, that whole healing process begins, because as we're going through the different the stages of life and our journey, there's so many things that we need healing with, and we don't even realize it, guys. We don't even realize many times when we're in default or design. We don't realize. And then what happens, and I keep saying it, it's never a one and done.
Mm-mm.
I mean, this is something that we have to continually work on. Yeah, and I have to tell you what I love about the young people today, the millennials today, is that they're more apt to where we weren't in many cases. I don't know. Some of you might be a millennial. I'm not, but 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 I think I am. I think
Hey.
I'm young, but and that is they're more apt to speak up and really begin to live their life full out. I've got two grandloves and I've got a set of twins on the way. But my son and his wife, I know I'm super excited. But my son and his wife know that my husband and I, we're always on the go. So if they need a babysitter, they have to call and schedule it in advance to see if we're around, because self-care is important. Unless I serve myself, unless I take care of me, how in the world can I serve you better?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And so self-care is not selfless. And as you go through the various chapters in the book, you're going to see the journey to where there's just that whole discovering of coming into to who you are and
Yes.
walking out your day in purpose and realizing that it's not one and done. Lisa Nichols says that energy grows where energy goes.
Right.
And so looking at, where are you putting all of your energy? You know what I mean? Where are you putting your energy? And so are you putting your energy in negativity? Are you putting your energy in things that's not even serving you?
Right.
Or
Mm-hmm.
are you putting your energy in things that are positive and things that are that's promoting you, and things that's feeding your soul, feeding your soul, And so as I honestly began to look at the book, that I think is just very simple. And it's an easy read, guys, and you can get
Yes.
to this when you go to
Very.
my website. It's
Yes.
a very easy read, but
It
it was
is.
very eye-opening for me as I went through the journey in life and looking at, my life by design. I have to tell you that where I am right now in my life, that I have a happy life. There's been healing and happiness that's taken place in my life that's helped me to walk in purpose. And everything that I've gone through up to this point, and I wrote about some of it in the book. I didn't write about everything in the book. I will be as I do my next book. Leads up to that whole piece of being happy and healthy and receiving healing. So what I want to
Mm-hmm.
ask you real quick is, a little bit after 9, and I want to tell you, was there a piece, if you could just really tell me very briefly in a minute or less, was there a piece in that book that you thought really brought healing to you? Or just anything at all. It doesn't even have to be in the book, but is there anything that has really, that we've talked in some of our coaching sessions, or in just conversations, or that has just brought some level of healing?
I can truly say there was 2 instances that I've had since being in the coaching session, not only just for business, but she touches pretty much every area of your life, your healing, spiritual, physical, mental, and your business part. And I had 2 traumas that happened like right back to back. One, I had an incident with um my other parent of one of my children, and she really stepped in. I mean, she stepped in. She was a mom to me because I don't have my mom. She said things to me that my mom would say to me, and she was a blessing to me that night. There was another time I was having a hard time. I was going through missing my mom, and she the exercise that she gave to me and she walked me through was so positive and uplifting. And I still do this even now. When I have a moment where I feel like I'm going to go, my emotional state is changing because I've been depressed. I've gone through postpartum depression. I can feel like I can just feel it when I know that I'm getting ready to get in a state of depression. I have the down days, the gloomy days. It seem like it's about to rain in my life. And when you see it in the natural outside, it gets really dark, and I can feel it coming on. And by her being my coach, she's not only my business coach, but she's coached me through life in general, different things that I've gone through. She's helped me, and that exercise that she gave to me, I still use it. Even now, I still use it because it has helped me through these ups and downs, because life do have ups and downs. And I really am grateful for her being in my corner. I'm grateful for her to be, because my mom left me and I'm just now beginning life. They say you don't start living until you get 40. Like, I'm only 43. And a lot of things that I've already experienced and gone through, but to have her in my corner and knowing that she is available. You text her and she can't get to you right then. She said, I'll give you a time and I'll come back. And I thank her for that. I really thank you, Sister Esther, for just being in my corner. I appreciate it. I love you.
Well, listen, I love you too. It's just my pleasure because I have the motto that says, I'm out to change the world. I want to see men, women, everybody just live a successful, a holistic, abundant life. I'm not concerned about what your belief system is. I don't really care. You understand? I call him God. You, whatever you say, that's fine. Because one thing I do know is that we all have greatness inside of us. However, many times we don't know how to access that greatness, or many times there's obstacles, there's things, and we may not even realize it, that's blocking us from walking our life, living our life by design. You understand what I mean? And sometimes it could be something just really, really small, really small. And sometimes it could be healing that's from a long time ago.
Yes.
It could be healing from years ago, but it still will come up every once in a while. We'll have triggers, that it can just trigger something. And when something triggers in you, y'all know, I mean, I know it can
take you back.
It'll take you away.
Unless something is there to anchor you, or someone that you can reach out to, somebody that provides a safe space. And that's why I love being a coach where you listen, I need to work on this. I need to why? Because has always been God's intent from the day we were born for us to live a holistic life. From the day we were created with greatness in us. From the day we were created, right? He created us perfect. You hear me? And it's circumstances, it's our environments and things, experiences, life experiences, sometimes on decisions we made, but sometimes life experiences on decisions that others have made. And many times, what we don't realize that some of our actions, our reactions, how we feel about things,
Yeah.
can stem from when we were a child. Because many of what we've learned, guys, we've learned from a child all the way up to, I've been going to say about age 8, I believe is what psychologists say now. And since I'm in early childhood development, we deal with those young ages. And what we're looking at is really how does that brain develop? And what you'll find is some of the things our children are learning, that's going to carry them out to their life. And so, how do we change the trajectory of that from that young age? But now, as we are adults, we're millennials, we're baby boomers, we're Gen Zs. How is it that we can begin now, right? Even where we are right now. Go ahead, Sonia, to where, go ahead.
I'm gonna piggyback off of that, but I'm laughing because technically I'm a millennial, but I don't identify as a millennial. They bundled me and our oldest child in the same group, and I don't like that. So you were saying, the inner child thing, and I know we've done a lot of work with me because the programming my inner child had basically told her that she had to do something for love and attention. And whether or not it was, of course, it may not be the goal of your parents to give you that idea, but that's what I perceived. And so that's what I thought I needed to do. I thought I needed to be in every organization. I thought I needed to make sure that I had the best grades. I thought I needed to go to the school that I thought my dad wanted me to go to. I thought I needed to, think about what other people were thinking about me so that I could do what they wanted me to do. And so really just the coaching for me was a lot about reprogramming my inner child. Because she was showing up and she was showing up scared. She was showing up fearful. She was showing up with anxiety, wondering, is she doing the right thing? Is she saying the right thing? Is she, basically walking on eggshells everywhere. And then that'll kill you. Like you will die on the inside trying to hopscotch and limbo your way through life. I'm not in shape for that. So really just digging into finding yourself. And you'd be surprised because I'm almost 40 and I should know myself by now. But when you're 21 and you have a baby and now your life for the next 20 years is really just, trying to feed into those attachments, that's 20 years of not losing yourself, but really just not connecting with your needs and wants.
Falling into that role of a mother.
Right. You think your whole life is about giving love, and sometimes you forget to love yourself, So honestly, I had to go back to basics. And some of these steps, when it says stepping into purpose, I like that because, I'm English. So I'm going to say that's present progressive. So it's like a progression that continuously happens. Sometimes you take big steps. Sometimes you're taking baby steps. And I feel like I've just finally got out of the baby step stage. And I'm finally walking like a big girl. She told me the other day, put your big girl panties on. I say, okay. So, honestly, like the accountability that I received, just, Sonia, did you do your homework? No, why not? I was running from something. I didn't want to face myself, but forcing me to face myself. So between that and now she has this 40-day prayer challenge, and oh my gosh, that's having me not only talk to God, but actually listen to him because, I'm just rattling my mouth off and not trying to receive. So, I mean, my life, and I think if I were to tie it back into the book, page 67 says basically her daily practice of the power for 30, 10 minutes of worship, 10 minutes of praise, 10 minutes of reading prayer and reading the Bible. So 10, 10, and 10. And while I may not do those exact numbers, that's really what I've been doing. I always throw on some worship music, but was I praying? Was I really trying to receive back from him and meditating?
Right.
And all of that has really just step by step, baby step by baby step, has me figuring out the why, getting connected back to the why. It's really, for me, it's because of him too, because, God has been my strength. But listen, Sonia's a mess. I may sit up here this is my third marriage. So, I've been in and out of relationships. I got 5 kids. I know I might look young, but I've just been trying to please everybody and it will kill you. So I'm glad that I'm coming back to life. I'm healing And Esther, I mean, I'm so glad I'm not crying right now, but it's coming.
I know I'm trying to hold back the tears for my turn.
You know, and I see the difference in Sonia and just how she shows up and honestly how she's coming into and I want to say coming back not to just who she was, but even better than before. And that bringing out that point that stepping in is stepping. It's not one and done, y'all.
Right. That is so true.
You have to
So
keep doing
true.
it. Yeah,
Continual, ongoing process.
it is. And
Yes.
let me tell you, it's also about being very transparent. And so you've got to look at yourself in the mirror. And sometimes that's the hardest thing to do is look at yourself and say, this is who I really am. I'm
Sometimes
that
it's
hurt
hard.
little girl.
It's hard to face.
It's hard to face yourself.
Really are.
Yeah, it is. It is the good, the bad, and the ugly. But I love, y'all know because I read a lot of scriptures, and that's my foundation for a lot. It's just the reality of things, and the good, the bad, and the ugly. It just all comes together for your good. And so now we've just got to now discover it and find out, exactly what it is. So as we're kind of talking, we're going to wrap it up in just a couple minutes, and I'm going to give you all some information. And guess what? I do have homework. I do.
Thank you.
Anybody else want to say anything about just that healing process, or how did you begin to heal and step in? Not just from the book, but from the coaching, from the, how else have you began to just discover you?
One thing that, and I know this is from the book, which kind of like for most of my life, I had to always defend myself. And I've been through so much. I mean, so much more hurt than anything. And when I read this on page 29, it kind of like set things in perspective for me a little bit. It says, seasons of purpose are like 4 seasons. When you're embarking on your journey, you may experience the winter of your purpose. You may feel very dark and cold, stagnant and stuck, not fulfilling purpose and not quite sure how to get there. Then you experience spring, where there is new life again. You begin to realize again your purpose. Step into new things, see doors that are starting to open, and how aspects of your life are beginning to bud again and grow. Then there's summer and fall. Every season has a purpose. It is our job to lean into God in those winter and fall seasons, to allow God to guide and reveal his will to us. That there really was like, okay, God, now I kind of see all the things that I kind of like went through and how I was up and down, roller coaster, up and down. One day I'm okay, one day I'm not okay. To the point where I was suicidal. I've been suicidal. I've been to therapy. I've attempted to take an overdose.
Yeah.
But at the time when I was in the mental hospital, when I did all of those things, I never thought that it could help someone else. It was like, woe is me.
Yeah.
Now I understand that there are seasons, and God spoke to me. What is your Ecclesiastes? Y'all know Ecclesiastes 3, chapter 3, start from verse 1. It's always read at funerals. Always normally read at funerals. But
I can't stand it. I don't like it.
Ecclesiastes 3. What is your Ecclesiastes? What is your time? There's a time for everything. And this thing right here, just like, okay, God, thank you, Lord. I don't want to go through it again, but now I understand partially. So I'm grateful.
Yeah, there are seasons. Yeah, I don't like it. Thank God they didn't read that at my mom's home school. Like,
that's true. They read it at every funeral.
I think sometimes they do, so you can all feel just so sad. But we do go through seasons, and thank God we've got the summer and the spring, and we come out of it. But the thing about it, guys, is what I like to always say is that we have to do the work.
Yes.
And that's what I want to encourage everyone tonight is that you got to do the work wherever you are in your life. If you're feeling stuck, you're feeling lonely, you still have some hurt, and you still have some pain. then you need to get the right connection. And you need to, there is healing for you, and there is happiness for you. And you are going to come out on on the other side. The homework I haven't really quick because when we're talking about healing and happiness and stepping into our purpose, which leads, we've got to be healed, got to be happy, and step into our purpose. And we know when we're looking at the definition of happiness, it's an emotional, mental state, right? It's an emotional, mental state, being happy. And happy is very, it's holistic. Let me just read what this says here. It's, um, a merry, cheerful, optimistic, excited heart does good like medicine, but hopelessness dries up the bone. It is so important for us to experience healing plus happiness in order for us. We need to embody it so we can live a successful life, and that's something that's continual. In other words, it's not something. It's not a one and done. It's keep stepping. You understand what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
so it's living that holistic life to where it's the body, soul, and mind all connected together. It's all together, and you'll find that if we're not really living a purposeful life, there's a reason for it, and we have to discover what's that reason, because it's affecting our mental health, it's affecting our emotional health, it's affecting us physiologically, psychologically, it's affecting relationships because there's something wrong. There's something wrong with us. We are not experiencing happiness. And why? It's probably because we need healing in some area. And that's what we have to discover. And so here's your homework. Your homework is this. What is it exactly are you seeking out of your life? Right where you are, in the stage where you are. So y'all on Facebook, and Val, if you don't mind, can you type it in the chat for me so I could post it? What are you seeking? Your homework is this, guys. I want you to work on it for the whole week, and then I'd like for you to post it on the Festa Della Donna homepage, and hashtag it health, healing, and happiness, so we could see it. And if you feel like it, I'm gonna go from my coach, Lisa Nichols. Go ahead and do a video, do a video, right? And so, but what is it that you are seeking, you know? And so when I say that, I'm struggling in, I'm not feeling as happy as I should be feeling. Then I may begin to think about, Esther, why are you not feeling as happy as you should? And then I can begin to write down, what is it that I'm seeking after? And that takes time, guys, for us to look. What is it am I seeking in a relationship? What is it I'm seeking at this moment? What is it that I want? And then what are the things that's the obstacle? So I may be looking for a quick fix. And so my quick fix could be, I'm just going to go out and party. That's a quick fix. I'm going to go ahead and go drinking and get drunk. That's a Medicaid, right? That didn't really solve the issue of really what I'm seeking, right? And so I want you to look at what are the quick fixes that I do just to fix it so I don't have to deal with it, so I could just medicate myself, right? And then look at, what's my behavior in that? And then what is it that I'm seeking? What is it that I want out of this relationship? What is it I want out of this moment I'm living in? What is it I'm seeking in my job? What is it I'm seeking within myself? Because can I tell you, it always begins with you first. You cannot expect someone else to make you happy if you're not happy within you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I can't, if there's something that's bothering me on the inside, if I'm not happy with the life, I remember when I just was not happy several years ago on one of my jobs, I was so unhappy. And that unhappiness made me unhappy in every other area because every day I dreaded going into work.
I've been there. Jesus.
I dread it. And so I would come home just miserable. And I would come home and I would be crying. I would be doing all these different things. Why? Simply because I just was not happy. What was I really seeking?
Right.
What was I really seeking? I was seeking fulfillment. but what did I want to really be fulfilled? Do you understand where I'm going with this? So this is going to require you just to go a little bit deeper. So that is your homework. Did you post it for me, Val?
Yes, I did.
You did? Okay, let me look so I can post it up there real quick. And so I want you to write down, what do that as your homework. Do it for yourself, right? Do it for yourself. And then next week when we come back, we're gonna go even a little bit deeper. We'll have some other guests, but I want you to continue to share. I want you to go online. If you have not, this is my, what do they call it? Shameless plug. If you have not purchased my book, go ahead and purchase my book. If you go to festadeladonna.com, right? FDD Women. Whoop. FDD Women.
I just put you can post
it. Okay,
yeah.
good. I'm not seeing it, so I'm gonna but fddwomen.com, right? And if you
book.
Right, /book, then my book is right there that you can get it, right? And then if you Angie, if you can post, Angie has a YouTube. Where can you put that in your YouTube, Angie? That you
can. Yes, ma'am. I just dropped her. I think I dropped it.
Conversations. So make sure that you do that, guys. I'm telling you, there is Sonia. I call her Sonia, right? I know I say her name wrong.
It's all right.
She's an editor. You want to connect, Sonia? Can you put your information in there for me?
Sure.
As we're closing, right? Val, I want you to put, Val is my graphic designer, guys. She's very good. She's my virtual assistant, right? She does all of my Festa Della Donna for when I've had my live events. It's Val, right? Everything. So let's put that information in there.
Yeah.
To be able to get it, okay? And also, I have a really good friend, Gary, who just launched her book today, and you can download it free. And Val, if you can put Gary's information as CEO in Stilettos, woohoo! Right? So Gary is the bomb. Gary's also in the field of early childhood, and she's a leadership. She does leadership coachings and trainings. And so her book, you got to get it. You got to get it. All right. And listen, last but not least, I've getting requests on what is going on for Festa Della Donna 2020. And I want you to know it is coming. We are doing a retreat. You're going to get more information about it, but go ahead and mark your calendars for March 16th to the 21st. Yes, a week. A retreat at the Outer Banks in North Carolina. More information will be coming. Woo, yeah, we all should. It's going to be phenomenal. But coming up to that, we're going to have so many other things for you to do, for you to grow, for you to get unstuck, for you to begin walking in purpose or even walking more in your purpose by discovering who you are. I love you guys. Did you put it in there, Sonia?
Yes.
You did? Okay, great, great, great. I don't see it, but I'm sure they'll see it.
Oh.
And I don't know, LaTanya, do you have information you want to post?
No, right now I haven't started my road yet. So I'm at the brink of licensing. I got 2 more pieces done, and I'll be sending out more information and doing a virtual video of what my daycare rooms will look like for my
early childhood room would look like.
Yeah.
Okay.
She'll get it. She'll get it.
Yeah, she'll get it. She's getting it. She's getting it.
This is new for me. This is new.
You guys.
Learning.
There you go.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
This was juicy conversation.
Yeah.
Make sure you
y'all get your book. For those that are watching,
replay,
get your book.
Check out my blog and all that good stuff.